Joining me now to discuss this is the Executive Vice President of the National Taxpayers Union, Brandon Arnold. Brandon, nice to see you today. Look, Chuck Schumer, I think if they don't push this through, they do so at their own peril. I mean, there's discussion that they're just going to filibuster this thing. I don't think that plays well for the people. All they're trying to do is prevent Donald Trump from getting his agenda done. He will get it done, by the way. They will get the reconciliation bill through with most of his agenda in it. It's going to happen. They can't stop it. I'm sorry. But they can clog up the works from time to time. What do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, the odd thing, this is very unusual in Washington, is that Chuck Schumer has been relatively quiet. This is a man that will not stop talking, will not stop pontificating in front of television cameras. And to me, what that suggests is that he probably doesn't have his conference together in order to block this spending bill. So I think Republicans are going to prevail on this vote. We are going to get this continuing resolution to the president's desk. He will absolutely sign it, and that'll begin this very long fight to start trimming the size and scope of the federal government. DOJ is doing some great work on that front. Now Congress is chipping in with this spending bill. There's a lot more work that needs to be done here, but this is the old classic case of how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. This is one bite in the right direction for sure.
All right, so Thomas Massie, the one Republican that did not support this measure from Kentucky, Donald Trump says that they'll primary him out. Look, Massie says, I don't vote for continuing resolutions. Now, this is what you would call a clean resolution, Brandon. It's not 1,000 pages. It's not 10,000 pages. I think it's 98. The last number I heard, 98 pages, give or take. So there's not a lot in there. And it does pare down spending some, but it doesn't even begin to solve the problem of our overspending, does it?
No, we got a long way to go. But listen, we got a $2 trillion annual deficit. Basically, as far as the eye can see, we've got these multi-trillion dollar deficits. We have $36 trillion, more than $36 trillion on our national credit card right now. We can't fix this with a single bill. We're going to have to take multiple steps, small steps in the right direction before we're going to reach our goal. And I like Thomas Massie. His heart is in the right place. I wish he would have supported this bill. But you can only get so mad at somebody for wanting to make the government even smaller, and that is certainly his intention. He wants to make the government a lot smaller. So I'm with him in spirit, even though, again, I disagree with the way he cast his vote yesterday.
Well, he wasn't the only one from Kentucky saying, I'm not on board with that. Rand Paul says he may not be on board with this either. So if that's true, Republicans only have 53 votes to begin with. To get past the filibuster, they've got to have 60. I don't know if that's going to happen. I think that the Democrats are willing to shut down the government. Something they always say they won't do when roles are reversed, but here we are. I think they'll do it for politics. I think they'll do anything for politics, actually. Brandon, what do you think?
I think they're going to gnash their teeth, and I think we're going to have the 8 or 9 Democrats that we need vote for this thing to get it to the president's desk. As much as they hate casting that vote, what they care about a lot more is their beloved federal government and shutting it down, especially after all of the layoffs that have happened, all the cuts that are taking place thanks to DOJ. I don't think they want to have their federal employees, all their brethren, suffer even more by shutting down the federal government. So I do think they're going to muster together those 8 votes. I could be wrong, but I think they are going to produce those votes because they know that they will be responsible for a government shutdown, which, as you said, they have said many, many times in the past. They do not want that blood on their hands.
Last thing for you here today, Brandon, what do you want to see when we get to the reconciliation bill? You want permanent tax cuts? You want spending cuts? You want it all? What do you want to see? What's a priority to you?
I'm greedy. I want it all. I think we can reduce the size of the federal government and lock in those Trump tax cuts from 2017 on a permanent basis. There's no reason why we can't walk and chew bubble gum at the same time. And in fact, I think if we're going to get those tax cuts, it is absolutely imperative that we simultaneously get those spending cuts because we need to be responsible with regard to the red ink that we've amassed. We need to start driving down the deficit, adding to it. So growth is part of that, which comes from the tax cuts, but so too is fiscal discipline, which means a lot in the way of spending cuts.
Brandon, greatly appreciate you being here, sir. Thank you so much.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.